The Doom series, or mostly known in the eyes of Satan as a complete embarrassment, is considered one of the best set of games in history. This is for obvious reasons. Doom was made by ID Software, and I can only assume ID stands for instant death, because the average life expectancy in these games are around 5 seconds. Of course, this meant naturally saving the game at about any chance you get, as that would be the regular thing to do. But today's challenge requires a bit more mental illness.
Love will yield to business. What the fuck is that?
See, I'm not just playing Doom. I'm playing every mainline Doom game in order, and if I die, I don't respawn. I don't reload a checkpoint. Instead, I get sent all the way back to Doom. This video was a terabyte in footage. Please like and subscribe, please. And thank you guys for your patience for this video. It took a really long time. Raccoon City was my playground, but the people wanted to see my skills in hell. So joining the chaos as the plushie enthusiast Doom guy, we're on a quest to find our missing rabbit, Daisy. Infiltrating Little Red Man's hangar after receiving a lead that they have held my rabbit captive, it's officially time to start this dreadful challenge in Doom 1, the granddaddy of all FPS shooters. Fully expecting to be grabbed and clapped from the back, the first mission actually went through like butter. Checking that I wasn't in fact on the easiest difficulty, we surprisingly have it pretty pleasant before I get cooked beyond recognition. After Doom Guy decapitates more demons than Michael after Eve bit the apple, we continuously look through the moon's open crevice, and to our surprise, we find 2 open pillars. Here we go. Gosh dang! After getting jumped by 2 barons of hell, it's apparent they were trying to shoot shots deep inside a Doom guy without his consent. Walls disappearing, overwhelming amounts of enemies, hidden switches. This was just the average day for us now. Oh, and this. Homies and Homets, after this challenge, I received a global nominee for being the first person to not go to war and still have crippling PTSD. Pursuing the path to purifying our soul, we are introduced to the biggest catfish of all time. The so-called boss that we're fighting becomes an often spawned enemy in the later episodes. With ID desperately trying to put our head on a bloody spike, we move forward around the corner, and to our surprise, we find a blueberry. One that, if eaten, grants us 200 HP.
Thank you.
Even though it was guarded by 2 drooping balls, we drop them with our BFG, the big gun. When I loaded up the next level, it was clear to us, all hell was about to break loose. After running out the door and being introduced to what looks like the next Gladiator movie, the lack of enemies in this room felt sketchy. And when I made it to the pillar in the middle of the room, we realized we weren't the only monsters in here. Quickly pulling out the BFG, we actually get the freak to turn his back on us, granting a little bit more of an upper hand. Spam peeking the corners, we were able to officially beat the final boss of Doom 1. Now, there's a cost to everything. And in the Doom series, the cost of killing half the population of Satan's henchmen was seeing our beloved rabbit not so captive, but dead. Oh man, the way that I just rip and tear that dude's butt open. What? Can I like catch a break or something? With Doom 1 evolving to now having an extra 9 missions, it was evident that in order to beat this challenge, I would have to complete all 9 to move on. Jumping straight into the cesspit known as episode 4 of Doom, I was introduced to not only the eye-watering amount of enemies, but also the barrel of a rocket launcher. No! With rules being rules, we restarted the game and continued to die 2 more times in episode 4. It was clear that at this rate, our desk wasn't going to last another death. Simply playing through Doom episode 4 blindly wasn't the smartest of choices. So instead of not uploading for another week, I watched a YouTuber by the name of Big Mac Davis for some advice. 1.2 kilos of cocaine running through my veins, and we make it to quite possibly the worst part of episode 4. With the intensive amount of ledges that lead into infinite damage, enemies having a 4-hour lock-on span, this map needed just one more thing. A big bad boy. Now with the advice of a grown adult, we teleport inside of the boss and rip him to shreds until his legs are shaking till tomorrow. With Doom Guy slaying his last objective, we finished Doom 1. Wait, do you guys smell something burning? Oh, you got to be. With hell officially on Earth, our faith in God rises, but also does the amount of enemy spawns. Despite the overwhelming sales of Bibles in this game, the first couple of missions are, dare I say, the exact same as Doom 1. I would just call this another installment of Doom 1. But there was one level in particular that popped me so tightly, I couldn't exist but adore it. What do I even say at this point? But don't panic just yet, because like always, I have somewhat of a plan. In every single Doom game, there is a thing called infighting, where one demon is almost cuffed to another as they go at it, like pit bulls fighting over a toddler. So with this knowledge, I use the boy in the back to do most of the work for me. Then, when the fighting calmed down, I grabbed the invincibility and finally got my hands dirty. And on the way to the last level, I saw an ammo pack at the top, which we could reach via this You've got to be kidding me. During our journey to summoning back our rabbit, we did not only get clammed between two thick walls, but we also escaped death. Usually this move would insta-kill you, but for us, it didn't. Me never being in a situation like this, I desperately tried to squeeze out, but it wouldn't budge. It was just then that I remembered a little trick that an old friend Kevin Mitnick taught me. If you go into the game's internal organs and type the words no-clip, you might actually be able to escape this. Oh ye of little faith. Fully expecting ID to give us a classic US raid system in the middle of the night, we move forward to the final boss of Doom 2. With Doom Guy's legs most likely being the size of my entire chest with a pump, we arrive shortly. And I introduce to you, quite literally, one of Griffith's henchmen. Multiple stairs with enemies constantly spawning, there was only one way to defeat this thing and save Earth. Luckily for us, the demon seemed to be going through open brain surgery because the brain was quite literally, it was open. It was wide open. Now we just need to reach it. Thankfully, standing next to the elevator, we need to constantly shoot him with the rocket launcher until he dies, which was going quite well, but I kept falling down. Who freaking designed this level, man? Thankfully, getting back up after every single embarrassing fall, we save Earth once and for all. At least until it happens 2 more times. With the Doom series evolving to now having more enemies, tougher areas, more enemies, excruciating puzzles, more enemies, you get the point. Welcome to Doom 64, the third installment, or technically, I don't know which one came first, but picking up things where we left off, we are still on the journey to summon back our rabbit via some kind of non-demonic ritual. After our strike team gets completely annihilated, they sent us to the UAC base, because one thing survived our massacre in Doom 2, the Mother Demon. Knowing that she could possibly hold the key to getting Daisy back, we knew what had to be done. In the earlier episodes, things definitely seemed tougher than usual. Like a storm brewing on the average Florida afternoon, it was only a matter of time before our cheeks were in danger. But this game introduces one thing, a thing so powerful that the tables might just turn on who is actually scared here. The super shotgun. With us now shooting twice as many bullets and doing twice as much damage on our favorite weapon, we move forward to a button. Me being the undeveloped toddler that I am, I pressed it, and now in my face was a courtyard full of barons of hell and above average sized balls. But one thing stood out in this mission, the Megasphere. Being the close cousin to the infamous Blueberry, I knew I had to get it. Now since this is a challenge after all, I went ahead and I killed all the enemies first before grabbing it so I could have the upper hand in the next level. But when I grabbed it, I think it was laced with a funny substance because on my way back over the acid pool, I tripped and fell. Scurrying around like a cat, it was safe to say I was terrified. Now unless you're a little special like me and haven't noticed yet, in the past Doom games it is very regular to have ledges that lead to a slow and painful pit of lava or acid without any way back up, meaning instant death. It was at this time that I scourged the entire internet looking for a solution. And right as I was about to accept defeat, God gifted me once again. Quickly hopping on the extremely obvious ledge that was right in front of my face, I realized the damage was already done. The next level wasn't going to go as planned. With the damage already done, I could only really pray that this wasn't going to be a tough one. Yep. This is where I die. This room is the closest thing to a spiritual warfare for Doom Guy, with pressure plates that trigger multiple enemies from random spots, and on top of that, it happens multiple times within one plate. This wasn't going to be fun. So even if I'm low and I try to run away, I might accidentally step on another plate, meaning at least another 5 enemies would spawn in. So we quickly nuke half of the population of Hell, kill unproposed demons, and defeat a sinful amount of Barons of Hell. All for us just to get led to what looks like the inners of my computer after I download the next Game Jolt FNAF game that everyone's playing.
FNAF 1 Remake. We already know what's going to pop up on the screen.
And homies and homets, welcome to the final level of Doom 64. This is an arena where they have 2 garage doors, constantly shooting out infants, while their father desperately tries to leave via shooting a way out, but accidentally hitting all the shots straight on me. Us, a actual good father of a rabbit, taking all the backlash from the mothers, it just didn't quite seem right. This level was most certainly the worst part of Doom 64. Constant enemies spawning in, and actual in-boss fights, it just wasn't fun. But with the final fight lockdown, we arrive on what seems like a portal to Earth, but instead of leaving, we felt like taking just one more back shot from possibly a Baron of Hell, which inevitably sends us straight to Doom 2016, with better graphics, smoother frame rates, and a smile on my face. Wait a second. For those of you who don't know, since Doom Guy stayed in Hell to defeat more enemies, he was quote-unquote saved by these guys, and now we are on Mars. Yeah, I don't really understand it either. Anyways, we wake up after getting the wildest lap dance without our consent, in which we exterminate the demons around us, and retrieve, quite possibly, the worst weapon in Doom history. And I truly believe this pistol does less damage than a Nerf gun. We slapped on our suit just like we clocked in for Hell's most violent 9 to 5 and marched forward into the hallway for our first real fight. Yo, imagine if I die here. You know how embarrassing that would be? Oh! Yeah, excuse my aim. Oh my gosh, my aim. Oh my gosh, my aim is so bad. After dealing with the Demon's Welcoming Committee, we're thrown into a world of red sand and regret. Welcome to Mexico. Wait, Mars. And things out here aren't exactly any better than the inside. With confusion running through our minds, we finally make it to the industrial factory, where, you guessed it, demons are here as well. Look, you see, I hate to have to admit this, but in our attempts to summon Daisy back, I needed a robot's help. But we may have accidentally kind of used the power of hell in a not so good way to the point to where there's demons everywhere now. So me being a decent man, I decided it was time to fix my mistakes and clean up all my dirty work. When opening up a random door, we are introduced to a joke that I would love to make, but for the safety of this channel, I will not. Anyways, after the newly introduced exploding demon, we make it back outside, use a dead man's handprint to move the elevator, and almost die multiple times while getting sniped, trying to process them. And we finally meet the very man that helped me with this madness, Dr. Samuel Hayden. We agreed to not be mad at each other and instead help fix our mistakes.
The invasion originated in the Lazarus.
But now we need to stop all of Mars turning into a pet after a vet visit. This entire area was interesting. It felt like an in-game level due to the lack of ammo, yet the increase in enemies. Truly a awakening experience. Get back! Ooh. That was way too close. Once we get the chainsaw, the game becomes much harder. And if I'm being honest, the whole Doom 2016 was the easiest new gen Doom game really started to scare me. But when we make it to the reactor, we meet a lady, or at least I think she is. And she seems to be trying to use the power of hell for her facelift. Both me and the robot guy didn't seem too fond of it, so we march forward with our mission. This only leads us to the crack of Satan's armpit as we are introduced to this thing, a rune trail. One of the only safe ways we are able to upgrade in this game. Is it just me or do they look darker? Nah, I'm not saying I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying. Come on. Only a few more. Come on. Where is he? Found him. I think that's the last one. Yes, sir! Afterwards, we are forced to fight across multiple ledges that lead to painful death. Unlike Eternal or Dark Ages, this game isn't too nice to you when it comes to falling. So treading carefully, we finally find the girl again. However, she ran away. Again, further inducing the temptation of using a substance, we were stuck in this part. And I mean, for a while. I think the whole playing Doom every day for about 10 hours was really starting to get to me. I mean, I literally looked at the exit and still turned around and looked for another way out for 30 minutes. Having been branded sacrificed by the Eclipse, we are now hounded in the streets by these demons who want nothing more than my very soul. Passing through them, it's officially time to parkour.
Sorry.
The tricky part with this is the fact that you can die, like, really easily. Finally catching up to the girl, we get sent to Hell, or better known as, let me think about that for a second. In my opinion, this is where the game really starts to show its true colors with the difficulty. Running straight into a hologram, I felt like I got a taste of the future, like it was right in front of me.
I look up into the sky at night and see like a McDonald's ad, I'm becoming a terrorist.
07 babies, it's not looking too good. With the Doom 2016 game resorting to sending us to literal hell, just so that they could have an excuse to spawn more enemies, clearly their aim of this segment was to stimulate me to death because in between fighting the big normal guys, a witch likes to appear and disappear the second you lock onto her. Not gonna lie, I literally almost died multiple times. This being compared to the equivalent of a pregnancy scare, we have to face through it and accept whatever happens. And thank God, we were given the gift of the Holy Spirit to vanquish all the demons in here. And just as I was about to escape hell, I noticed something out of the corner of my eye. Something so important to this challenge that I couldn't resist but look. This cake, man. I get this place is hot, but I did not know they were having a bakery out here. Returning back to Mars, we still need to clean up our mess. We unfortunately reached the point in the game where the developers forget gaming is supposed to be somewhat fun, because the amount of enemy spawns in these next parts are, dare I say, eye-watering. Too easy. Please comment you got this, Corey, if you want to show me support in these desperate times. Plugging into what feels like the current state of Call of Duty these days, it was made clear that I was going to have to be on my A game if we weren't going to die here. With that in mind, we made sure that quick draw was enabled and moved forward to, oh wait, What is that? Oh, that's right. That's the worst enemy in the entire franchise. Making me quite literally shake out of anger, I'm pretty sure that during one of these attempts, I woke up my entire house due to the oxygen leaving my body in a not so quiet way. Now, I think it's safe to say that I've lost the plot here. Kinda like how this guy somehow lost his head in the toilet. Yeah, I don't know. When making these challenges, it's important to sometimes sit down and rest for a bit while your partner in making catastrophic mistakes yaps in your ears for a while.
Helix Stone.
What would you do if you saw me at the red light and I honked my horn at you and we made eye contact and I said,
Our friend gives us the BFG, so we take it out for a joyride. But when we return, our friend isn't there and instead is replaced with feet. Could our friend be a feet finder fanatic or just a chill dude? For whatever reason, Doomguy's daily kick wasn't charged up enough because they threw us straight into a boss fight. Using pretty much all of my ammo on it. Oh wait, Doomguy, don't do that. Well, I tried to warn you. Tracking the boss down through the afterlife, we defeat him again just to further humiliate him out of what I can only assume was pure hatred at its finest. Making it through what looks like the basement of Lady D's bedroom, we arrive to yet again another boss fight. However, this time, there's two of them. Now, I'm not saying I mind two at once, but this is just absurd. Telling myself if I die, I actually do die. I knew I had to lock in. Sadly, this wasn't the last of it, as we would now have to destroy the plastic face surgery lab from 2 vantage points, and each doing so spawns in a very unhealthy amount of enemies to greet us and prepare us for the final boss. Finally, having the final showdown with the girl, it's very much clear that her facelift wasn't from Turkey, but rather from Thailand. Now, homies and homets, welcome to the final boss of Doom 2016. A boss fight so big, her health bar showed up early just to warn us. She has a supercomputer for a brain and 16 legs worth of disrespect. First thing that she does is slams the area into lockdown and tries to fry me with a laser the size of Texas. Midway through, she gets even angrier. Now, the whole map's glowing red. I'm dodging like a squirrel on espresso, and my ammo crying in the corner. But, like always on this channel, we do not fold. We tank the hits like a man whose only hobby is violence. And after all is said and done, I break out the BFG. And when I say break out, I mean I empty that thing like it's my rent money. Get me out of this game. Remember how I said Doom 2 was not the last time that hell was on Earth? Well, yeah, it kinda happened again. Oopsie, right? Being summoned to our mission like an Avenger, it was made evident that in order to beat this game, we would have to officially summon Daisy back for good. Now having the practice of 2016 still flowing through my dick, it's much easier this time around. Still limping our way to the outside world, things apparently only took 20 seconds before they fall apart like my GPA. Still though, despite the hellish landscape, I still was just a kid at the end of the day, and really could not help but play with the demons a little. I really wanted to know how many hits it would take to kill a demon, but for whatever reason, fists apparently don't do any real damage, so I WWE drop land this guy in his deep fried wagon.
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
Here we can get a taste on how the game truly works. But more importantly is how cooked I'm going to be. I mean seriously, in the beginning I felt like a homeless man in the street asking passing cars for spare ammo, but no one would stop. Now knowing that the chainsaw gives you more ammo, I developed a strategy pretty early where anytime most of my ammo would get low, I forced myself to use the chainsaw, hoping that would be the end of the ammo crisis. This game does not support player skipping, aka I want to get this challenge over with syndrome. Anytime I try to speedrun a level, it forces me to kill all the enemies before moving forward, even if the enemies were a road trip away. Or farming our way through the cutscene, the only important note to take out is the name, Conmaker. Maybe I could summon Daisy through her. Making it to hell to further track her down the areas, or in my words, hurtful. The lava and lack of ammo really started to get to me. Oh, and did I mention the crawling system? Incredible until they messed it up by making me do more, parkour. Arriving at the purple lake where you move about as fast as a slug, we navigate to our first official hell battle. Me being about as experienced as the gamer journalist playing this game, I almost died a few times. Avoiding the record high temps, we move to the more icy land. I don't know if it's just me, but something seems off about this room. You know? With the game pretty much asking us on a gold platter to die, I decided to sit it out like I was LeBron and take things the easy way. Yes, I know I'm a female dog for this, but come on. Can you blame me? Moving through the frozen areas like I was half expecting to see Elsa, we see a vision. One that meant so much more to me than I expected. Favorite weapon in all the Doom series was right in my reach. Well, not technically, but I still needed to get it either way. It was today that I committed the ultimate disappointment. I became the very thing I hate, a demon. This section was the embodiment of the most random events, but they gave me a jetpack, so I guess I'm cool with it. Bringing the demon back like a dog on a leash, we put it down and acquire my shoddy. Very weird thing about this game is the amount of constant salt traps that try to kill you, especially these spiky things. I don't know why they put so much of these in this game. Still, me being the main character, we slide through and get a notification pretty much telling us to use all of what we learned so far. Doom Eternal is the most complex Doom game out there. Fire for armor, chainsaw for ammo, and glory kills for health. It sounds simple, but once you're put in the heat of the moment, it's kind of hard. It's like a puzzle set, but most of the pieces were thrown off the table by your little sibling. Murdering most of the demons, we arrive to the coffin things. The way that they work is pretty diabolical. Set on a timer, my slow-moving brain sometimes cannot process the work fast enough to get it. Now, believe it or not, this game is slightly more forgiving as they don't insta-kill you for every single fall. Navigating through the bridge of pain and despair, it becomes clear to us what we're even doing in the first place. Something about Hell Priest and bringing Daisy back. That's about it. Making it to the core of the factory, we get our first Doom Eternal official boss fight. Despite looking crippled, this guy actually caused me some trouble. Mysterio on acid has a shield around him, forcing us to empty our plasma rifle on him just to get rid of it before even doing a single ounce of damage. Oh, and if you don't do this quick enough, he will just regain his shield and you will have to do it all over again. I would call this the most annoying enemy, but I'm kind of saving that one for one specific dude. In order to get to the Daisy Summoner 2.0, we need to kill 3 Hell Priests, in which we do the first one at the end of this chapter. Going back to, what's left of Earth, we arrive to, and I quote, the Gorefest, where we need to get 3 different keys in order to turn this Gorefest into a regular fest. Killing yet again another Hell Priest, now we need to find the final one, but we don't know where he's at. However, someone will, our old friend. Tracking down my old friend that disappeared for a few feet pics, I was a little bit angry. We were supposed to do this mission together, so feeling like I was led on, I start from ground level and make my way all the way through the shambled buildings in order to reach the top. This journey kind of sucked. And welcome to the shield guys who purposely block you when you need to get out the most. I mean, it's the smartest AI I know. Sorry, ChatGPT. In one of the final rooms, I spot something I have much missed. A Berserk pack. Something that allows you to one-shot every single enemy, helping us in this challenge with conserving ammo and, well, just staying alive tremendously. Making it to the first crane of bullets, we shoot the way out, but now we need to do the exact same to the other side. Moving about as quick as I could, including skipping through much fighting, we make it to the next crane pretty shortly, but something unfortunate happens.
One moment.
Oh no.
Override successful.
Oh, yes. After opening the next path, we storm in, and to our surprise, we see humans.
My God,
Feeling like I just came out of my room during a family reunion, one thing cheered me up. No, not grabbing this guy forcefully by the neck, but rather my old friend. Me being about as mad as someone who just lost their temper playing Prime 2017 Fortnite, I snatched him and went back to my ship. Hooked him up to the doohickey, and he said the final Hell Priest was in a place called Sentinel Prime. Sounding straight out of Transformers, I didn't expect the portal for it to be in the core of Mars. With this in my mind, we go find the BFG's Big Daddy and fire a massive hole into the surface of Mars. Then, in true Doom style, we fire ourselves at the speed of light straight into Mars.
Override loading sequence. Fire. 3, 2, 1.
I can't help but adore how efficient this is. Teleporting to the Sentinel of, I forgot the last name, we get a flashback to when we were quote-unquote rescued and forced to fight for our freedom. Now, the Hell Priest firing his last battle defenses on me were of course bosses. The first phase has a super annoying shield, which if you couldn't tell, I hate when people are cosplaying Blitz because it just gives me nothing but PTSD at this point. Anyways, the second phase is much harder, in which we have to do the most Doom Guy things ever.
Nothing. Earth will be consumed, regardless of what.
After spilling blood on the continental grounds and officially killing all 3 Hell Priests, it's time to go after the Con Maker herself and summon our rabbit back once and for all. Now, having many Con Makers appearing in battle was interesting. One good thing that came out of it though was the large amount of ammo and health that they would drop with almost every kill. But dreading the actual fight against her, it was indeed no joke. Okay. Her fight. Through my many attempts through this game, I learned the best strategy. The game suggests using the meat hook, but I don't know why I couldn't get it to work until after the boss. So being about as salty as the McDonald's fry in your backseat, I decided to make my own plan. With every mini health pool that she has, another appears until you beat all 6. Now after the first couple of ones, it only progressively gets harder and harder. So I saved the BFG for the later ones and used my regular ammo to defeat the first couple of ones, allowing it for a smoother time. Officially killing the Con Maker and retrieving the way to summon Daisy, me being about as excited as a kid running to Toys R Us, we went to see Daisy and... yeah, that's not my rabbit. That's a threat to humanity. While summoning Daisy back, I guess I did the wrong formula because I somehow mutated her into that thing. And now I have to make a decision. Kill that thing to save humanity or don't do it at all, I guess. Me being, you know what I had to do. Pulling up to the boss fight with Roses in a suit, I did not expect what I saw. The boss has multiple different armor plates for the first phase with infinite enemies spawning all around you, just to further annoy us. The first phase really wasn't that bad, but you pretty much have to just aim for different armor plates, but they have a lot of health. So I'm constantly scurrying around trying not to 1, die from his attacks, or I meant her attacks, and 2, not trying to die from the little bugs running around us. Oh, and 3, trying to get enough ammo to actually complete it in the first place. And in the second phase, the only way to beat her is pretty much the same thing, but with flesh. Killing her felt unreal. All I worked for, just gone. Since I was severely depressed, I decided to take a teleport back in time, hopefully to try and restart again. Homies and Homets, welcome to the final Doom game, Dark Ages. With life expectancy being at an all-time low, we have made it back to the Dark Ages, where we are currently being held captive as a puppet for this big dude.
Give me 2 chips, although I asked for an apple.
Being summoned in like a father after his son gets drafted into the NBA, we currently only have one goal and one goal only. Kill the demons. Being under the control of a bloodthirsty Earth Protector, it was actually kind of nice. Brings us back to the simpler days, yeah? Demons come crawling out of every crack in the wall. Some are armored, some are winged. All of them look like they got beef, with me specifically. So naturally, we slam them in the most polite way possible. Moving forward to what this game calls a boss, I think it's clear to you. The wonderful Homies and Homets that I, cord with 2 R's, was in my lane. Doom: The Dark Ages is easily my favorite Doom game when it comes to gameplay. I quite literally feel like I'm floating while playing it. Making it to the first wide area, we are given a machine gun, and with that, we use it to gun down multiple demons. But at the end of it, we are forced to face the big boy. Being the equivalent of Shaq O'Neal on his tippy toes, I was scared. But being given a cannon mode on this thing, we were able to defeat him in only a few shots. This is just for us to be going back to the lobby and seeing that Satan was in fact spectating us the entire time. Being sent back to our headquarters, the what I can only imagine our Za finally starts to wear off. And just as I was about to rip my leader's head off, he gave me the biggest roll-up I've ever seen, further seducing me to killing even more demons. In this next chapter, we are introduced to our throwable shield, something I will be using a lot in this challenge. especially against the big shield enemies, since it is a really good way to get extra armor and just kill multiple people at the same time. Being thrown into what feels like my inevitable death, we are introduced to the main way we are going to be able to be upgrading health from now on. The enhanced mini bosses. They aren't too bad to defeat, but they do give us bonuses to either our health, ammo, or armor. It was just then that we are now introduced to the mech. Feeling like Shinji, these parts were, dare I say, a break. Not gonna lie though, later on I do get bullied. It's pretty bad. I don't know what happened. Pressing through what I can only assume was a straight up Creed reference, Doom Guy stuffs not just two, but one big fat ball in this demon's mouth and throws him down a hole. Barely escaping death, I think it's safe to say we are not holding back this time. I think it's time to explain our game plan. 1. Stop the mind control. 2. Kill the guy mind controlling me. And 3. Reincarnate Daisy. If you are following my Instagram, I've been posting stories about how much I hate Doom now, and I literally cannot bear to look at this game anymore. I mean, seriously, what is this? You have to be kidding me, right? Trying the best to squeeze by as much fights as I can, because 1, I'm bored, and 2, just get me done. We are led to one that is unskippable. The Vagary Champion. I'm not going to lie. I almost died. Like, a lot. And I know I've said that a lot of times, but I truly mean it this time. This was pretty bad. Considering it, this boss has a lot of health for an early game one. However, we did still beat it. Not easily though. Skipping steps 1 and 2, I decided to reincarnate Daisy right then and there. Oh boy. There she is. Now a dragon, she could be a fighting companion. Dr. Samuel Hayden, who? The dragon sections on these games, pretty nice. Making me feel like I'm actually on a Dragon D's nuts on your face. The combat is interesting, having a simple dodge, shoot, repeat sequence, and chase after some enemies every now and then. It was, refreshing. Something I gotta watch out with in this game, though, is the unnecessary but very dangerous fights. There's a lot of them, kind of just hidden, and they look important to the story, but if you walk 1 foot over the line, you will get locked into a fight until either you die or the demons. Thankfully, it still being pretty early into the game, I killed them with not too much struggle, and now it is time to chase down the witch and the prince. Even though we plan on blowing up his home, he walks away so nonchalantly. And I'm not proud to say it, but I let him go, hoping we would get to fight him later on whenever they're more powerful. Being sent into the map the size of Warzone, we are forced to run around and do many different objectives. Afterwards, we have another run-in with Prince Azrak. We literally saw the door open to secure our cold entrance and finally meet face to face. But with the witch using her powers last second, we are pushed off the edge. I guess they wanted to fight me later as well, because they should have been knowing by now that, we don't go down that easily. Unfortunately.
Come over here and kiss me on my hot mouth.
No, of course, like every other Doom game, we unfortunately are sent to hell. It's that time of the month again, isn't it? Being thrown back into the mech, but with a gun this time, now things are getting a little bit more dangerous. For the demons, I mean, not me. When we arrive to the big castle, we see this. Clearly, it being a trap, I think we were more excited than scared. Obliterating everything in our path, we make it deeper and deeper inside of the base, and finally introduced to one of the best weapons in Doom history. The Skull Crusher. Both variants of this beautiful weapon, I am proudly admitting that I would marry, smash, and kill. Maybe not kill, but I'll do all 3 of those things with this weapon. I get this makes me the biggest spammer ever, but my also main other rotation is the Super Shotgun. So forgive me, maybe? Meeting back up with Daisy, it's time to go to town on the ships and track down all major demon spawns in hope of making the prince mad enough to come meet me face to face again. Finally making it out of hell, we go into the belly of the beast. That's literally the name of the mission, by the way. This means I got eaten. Yeah, fully swallowed by a demon the size of a cathedral. One minute I'm cleaving through hell's frontliners, and next I'm free falling into a gaping, screaming abyss lined with fire and acid. Welcome to the belly of the beast. The floors breathe, the walls pulse, and everything around you wants you dead or digested. Inside this flesh pit, nothing makes sense. Gravity shifts, platforms throb like veins. You're not even sure if you're in a stomach or some cursed dimensional pocket of hell's lower intestine. Fighting through not just demons, but also the body itself, this was crazy. And the worst part, the silence. This game takes the music away, no guitars. Just the sound of your own breathing and your drunk neighbors screaming outside. Finally being freed from our chains, we can now go after step 2 of our plan. You ever look at a boss and just know that they've got 400 voice lines, 5 phases, and a tragic backstory that you absolutely don't care about? That's Creed. This game sets him up like some fallen knight turned demonic, all while sitting in a gold chair. And when the boss fight starts, this man does not walk, he glides. Like someone modded Sephiroth into Doom. With phase 1, it's pretty classic. Phase 2, however, he takes off his clothes, showing a bit more skin than I would initially like. And oh boy, does he go all at it this time. Exploding us left and right, sending multiple henchmen after us. This was genuinely a little bit hard, especially those balls that he was stuffing on my face the entire time. But throughout the fight, you can see that we are slowly chipping away at him bit by bit. Finally beating him, he tries to still commit the unforgivable act of mind control.
I can take you to her.
After carving him like a Thanksgiving turkey, it's now time to hunt down the prince and the witch. Once we finally meet up with him, this guy has 3 whole phases, just to further pre-order his line of Aurora University. Now, you might call me crazy, but during this challenge, specifically in this game, it's sometimes better to be so aggressive that the boss literally pushes you to back up. All I'm saying is that it worked, but despite that, despite making him bleed, despite going at it for 2 phases, he almost beats us. But with Daisy quickly asserting dominance, she saved my life, but at the cost of her own. Yeah, I think that means I think that means he's mad, guys. What do y'all think? Oh, where did he go? Oh, wait, I remember this. Hold on. Yep, I'm not gonna miss a single one. I'm gonna hit every single one. Bam. Bam. Oh, it's been a few weeks since I've played this game, guys. You guys gotta give me a break, all right? Stop. Stop. This is just what you gotta do, all right? Just pull out the super shotgun. Just take turns. That's all you gotta do. We're low-key, like, we're going through them, though. Y'all see how much damage I'm doing? There we go. There we go. There we go. Yeah, all I'm saying is if I do die here, I do legit think it's probably best for me just to delete my channel at this point. Round 2, baby. We're not missing another one. Bam. 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 What? Did I miss that? He's so low. He's so low. Oh, this is it! This is it! He's so low. He's so low. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh! Yes! Yes! Oh. I wish I could tell you that was it, but we still need to do one more boss fight. The witch and the slightly less powerful prince. I'm not going to sit here and act like the cliche YouTuber. Oh my gosh, this was so hard. It wasn't. This was literally easier than the first boss that we fought. So with us officially beating the prince and pretty much dooming humanity, get it? We beat Dark Ages, which means we have beaten all the mainline Doom games without dying. If it was one thing that you could take away from this video is sometimes you just need to leave them behind. My rampage fighting for my dead rabbit caused more pain than I could ever imagine. First of all, thank you for watching. Unless if you skip the video, then frick you. Joking. Love you still. Thank you so much. If you couldn't tell, I'm really I'm really tired right now. I'm really tired of this video. I don't want to play Doom anymore. I am so sick of that game, of that franchise. I don't ever want to see it. Matter of fact, I usually watch my own videos whenever they come out. I'm not going to watch this video. I'm going to upload it and I'm going to try to forget about it. Because this video has killed me, okay?